Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in to today's video, which is going to be a tutorial on this look. And I have to give credit where credit is due. The inspiration for this came from a video that was literally posted today. Tati shared a video about actually products she wouldn't recommend, but at the beginning of that video, she was walking through what she was wearing on her eyes, and she was wearing some pigments or sparkly shadows from JD Glow Cosmetics, and it reminded me of the Galaxy shadows that I have from that brand. And first of all, how underrated they are, and second of all, how amazing they are, and yet I haven't shown them nearly enough love since I have originally gotten them, which at this point is almost 2 years ago. I did a quick little review of them going through the shades that I had in like May of 2017. I only know that because I just looked it up to see how long ago it was and which shades I had and maybe had used in that video, so I didn't duplicate for this look. But if you're interested in it and you want to see more swatches of these, definitely go check that video out. Otherwise, I wanted to do a video using these shadows today. So we're going to be going through that eye look, and then I'm also using some new to me products here today as well. So they are very rough first impressions, like have literally used these for the first time in this video or like the second time period. So a mixture of old and new, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get started. So I kind of went on autopilot and already applied my foundation or base. It's actually not foundation. To fill you in, I applied the Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer all over on a recent trip. It was a super long day. My skin got really greasy, and I think the excessive dryness of travel made my skin produce more oil. I started breaking out like crazy, and I just needed more full coverage. So the only other thing I was traveling with was this guy, and I just slathered it everywhere, and I've been wearing like this ever since. So that's what's on my face, but because I'm working with more colorful and more glittery shadows here today, I wanted to stop there so that I can clean up any potential fallout with the concealer that I'm going to use. And actually, while the shadows are longtime loves of mine, the concealer is brand new. Smashbox sent me their Studio Skin Flawless 24-Hour Concealer, so I'm going to be trying one or two, whatever I think is the best fit for me, for the first time today in this video. So let's get started. So here are all the JD Glow Galaxy eyeshadows that I have. I purchased even more after my initial review video of these, so this is my collection as of now. I pulled out these 4 shades that I think I want to play with today, but I wanted to give you an idea, and the camera is like not even doing it justice right now, but like how multifaceted these shadows are and duochromatic and shimmery, glittery gorgeousness. But this, I think, is what I'm going to be working with today. But because all of these are shimmery, glittery, I want to start in my crease with something a little bit more matte. So I'm going to go in with the shade from the Maybelline The Matte Bar that I just talked about in my most recent upload, where I was talking about some new products, to me anyway, and sharing my thoughts on them. So if you want to know more about this palette, definitely go check this video out when you get a chance. But right now, I'm just going to use this mid-tone neutral shadow here. I might get into one of these shades later on as well, just to add some more depth to the crease. So I totally forgot to prime my eyes, so I just used whatever was left on my foundation brush to buff that across my lids, and in the process, you'll notice a different angle because I'm running away from the sunbeams. Will we ever get it together? So I'm just running that lightest shade through my crease using a Morphe M441, and then I am taking that slightly deeper shade in this palette. It's called Grit, and I'm placing that outer half of my crease just to add a little bit more depth there. Now for the JD Glow shadows. So I'm first going to go in with 365, which is just this beautiful greeny gold kind of shade. And I'm using, this is a Real Techniques shading brush. I'm going to use that to pat all over my lid. So because it was faster to build the color, I just ended up using my finger. So I'm going to do the same thing on my other eye. So easy. Now I'm going to use the shade Peacock in my outer corner. It's this gorgeous mix of teal with this interesting purple, like lavender shift. And it's super pigmented. And even though those two shades are blending really beautifully into each other, I want to make sure I have a nicely blended crease. So I'm just going to go back in periodically with some of those matte shades that I initially used and run that through the crease to help blend these out. So I know the shade is Peacock, but this is giving me like Major Mermaid vibes. So the next shade that I'm gonna go in with is this one, which is called Unexpected. You can see that really interesting shift there. And again, I'm gonna use my finger to apply that to the center of my lid, just to blend those two colors together even more and see if either of that, the gold or the teal, will bring out some more interesting undertones in this shadow. And it's really just giving it like a glossy lid look. The gold's getting a little lost under it, so I might go back and touch it up a little bit with that gold, but overall, I really like it. So yeah, I'm just gonna go back in with that gold with a little touch in my inner corner. The more I use this, the more this reminds me of the gold in the Natasha Denona gold palette, like the really strong, glittery gold shade there. It's one of the shades that drew me to the palette to begin with. So if, like me, you're really attracted to that palette for that one shade, this, again, that's 365, is a really good alternative if you don't want to invest in the whole palette. I'm also taking a touch of that gold on a different clean detail brush and putting that, just dabbing it right in the center of my lower lash line, just to make sure it's not one continuous stripe of teal under there. And then I'm so glad I saved my concealer for later, because true to what I expected, there's quite a bit of glitter under here, but so worth it. The last shade I'm gonna play with is this one called Prismatic. Oh my gosh, it's like lime, but also blue, but also teal. It's fantastic. Same detailer brush that I just used for that gold, and I am going to place that in my inner corner and slight lower lash line. I would say it comes off way less limey than it looks in the pan when you're just applying it over bare skin. I think with a more colorful base, you would get a stronger shift. But for now, it's almost like an iridescent with a strong blue shift. But without concealer, it's making me look a little sick. So now that I think I have all my colors in place, I'm going to apply some liner and then we'll get to concealer. For liner, I'm going between a brown and a teal, and I think I'm gonna go with more of a smoky brown. This is the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Gel Pencil Liner in the shade Bold Brown that I've been talking about recently, or at least I mentioned it in the most recent video. And I'm also gonna smudge that just really tightly in the upper lash line. Then for mascara, I'm going to apply a few coats of my L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, which will take my lashes to great length. It's what I've been liking a lot lately, but this look definitely calls for some falsies. So while this is drying, I'm going to apply my concealer finally, and then I'm going to apply some lashes. So for the concealer, again, this is the Smashbox Studio Skin Flawless 24-Hour Concealer. The two shades that I thought would be a best fit for me was either the light warm or the light medium warm peach. I think I'm gonna go with light warm because the medium might just be a teensy bit too deep, but I do love that it has that peach undertone to it. I always go in with a lighter hand than I anticipate. I know a lot of people maybe are a little more heavy-handed, especially for a glam look, but because I have not used this concealer before, I'm gonna exercise some caution. Also very unlike me is to use a brush for my concealer. I just love the way my hands warm the product up, but because my hands are covered in glitter from crazy swatching with these shadows, I'm gonna take the Real Techniques, oh my gosh, this is my super old and original deluxe crease brush, I think is what it's called, and I'm just gonna dab that in. It's almost a dewy finish. It feels like it's a little bit more dewy than the Born This Way concealer that I'm wearing under it. And it's pretty thin in consistency too. I feel like I definitely need to wear it in a few different circumstances with a few different combinations of products, because the concealer, this Born This Way, is pretty full coverage and relatively thick feeling. You know, this Smashbox concealer is going to wear slightly differently than if I'm wearing it over my Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation. So I'll definitely continue to try this out, but I'm pretty pleased with that kind of coverage and how natural it looks. The dewiness is kind of fading, but the natural finish is still very much there. Kind of like a light satin finish, and it Just feels super light and nice and not too heavy, especially around my fine lines in my under eye area. Now onto lashes. I'm going big and bold today, and you know I love a good magnetic lash. And if you don't know that I love a good magnetic lash, I have a couple videos here on the channel about how I like to apply them, the kinds of lashes that I like. But today I am going with my Eyelure. They're like faux mink lashes. I have a video reviewing them if you want to go check it out. But basically, I really like them, and they are my go-to dramatic magnetic lash. The Ardell Accent magnetic accent lashes are fantastic for everyday lashes, but if you're looking for something with a little bit more pow, these are the lash for you. Like, I just love how easy they are to apply. Boom. And you don't have to mess with lash glue. Love them. And these actually come with a tool that I mentioned in the video where I'm reviewing them, but honestly, I've gotten to where I so prefer applying these with my hands. It's just so much faster and easier once you get the hang of it. Because there it is. That literally took like less than 30 seconds and you have like full on dramatic lashes. I love them. So for the rest of the face, I'm gonna keep it super simple, just reaching for the Made with Love by Chloe palette from the Becca BFFs collection. Again, this is another one. Actually, I talked about the whole collection in that most recent video if you were curious to hear my thoughts on it, see swatches of these things. But I love Becca's face powders in particular, so this has definitely been something that I've been using pretty regularly lately, and it's as simple as it gets when all of your face powders come in one palette. I'm now realizing I have not done my brows yet either. And you know what? It's always at this point in my makeup routine when I realize that. It's as I'm applying bronzer up here that I look at my brows and I'm like, eek, those are not done. One of these things is not like the rest of your face, and it is the brows. They're like slightly covered in foundation / concealer, so they're not quite as bold as I'd like them, and they're just a little sparse. For the blush, I'm going in with this shade down here, although honestly, sometimes I just take a little bit of both of those. It just depends on how much highlight I want to be, how glowy I want my cheeks to be that day. But for now, I'm just going to use that bottom one. And then for the highlight, I'm going to take my Real Techniques contour brush and use it in this highlight right here and just apply that to the tops of my cheekbones. Now for the brows, I'm going to use the Brow Stylist Boost and Set from L'Oreal. I've been using my CoverGirl lately though, but in the time that I have unpacked my travel bag and strewn it out all across this table, I cannot find it. So this is what I've been using lately, which I do like, but I would like a little bit more fullness up here in my arch, especially for a look this dramatic. I just feel like I need to go, or I should go with a bolder brow, but this is what I'm gonna do today because this brow gel does add a little bit of pigment to my brows, so it kind of fakes a little bit of fullness, so it'll do the trick for today. Alrighty, it is time to finish this look off with the lips. I am going to use one of two lip colors from L'Oreal. They sent me what I think is the whole shade range from their new lip collection, which is just on here called Lip Color. I'm sure it has a fuller name that I will put in the description box below. I've only tried one of these shades and I was really surprised by the texture. They're like very thin and not at all what I would have expected a liquid lip to feel like. So kind of like the concealer, I still need to try it more of the shades and just more wear to understand how they wear. But right off the bat was very impressed and surprised by how thin and comfortable the texture of the formula was. So the two shades that I have to choose from, or that I want to choose from today, one is 418 or I Am Power. It's a little bit warmer leaning, which I feel might lean into the gold, except we have that teal, so this mauve-y shade, which is I Create, could also do the job too. I'm gonna go with I Create. Which is looking like exactly like my lip color. And that's it for this look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if there are any other products out there kind of like these eyeshadows, or it doesn't even have to be an eyeshadow, just a product that you feel like is under-recognized or maybe was popular, there was a lot of hype around it and seems to be forgotten now, and you want to see a tutorial or just some more love thrown in that direction, let me know what that is down in the comments below. Because I really like this format of just playing around with new and old. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.